Hello everyone. If you're like me, a lot of you use YouTube to get good ideas when you have home projects. And I use them all the time, and I love the fact that people post content that helps me. I just wanted to get back a little bit. I've got my own thoughts on certain types of home projects. Just throw this out. And the reason I do that, because it's really a lot different. Some of the things I've done just recently are somewhat different than what I've seen out there. I think not necessarily better, but maybe something for you to think about. So I recently built, well, not so recent, this is about 3 or 4 years old. I do think that it helps to wait, because if you find something doesn't work, usually it takes time to realize that. I'm super happy with what I built here. It's a raspberry trellis. Instead of using things like 4x4s and wires, I decided to go against using very inexpensive plumbing piping. It's just piping, 10-foot pipe sections. This is 30 feet long. I think the whole thing cost me, I'm thinking around $300 when you consider the piping, the brackets, cabling, and I'll get into it shortly, but the cabling that's around it. But it should last forever, certainly in my lifetime. It's all galvanized steel, very inexpensive. And so yeah, let me show you how I built it, and maybe you'll find this useful. So first of all, it's just basic piping. It's not threaded. I think the threaded piping that I had, it was a lot more expensive, but it also, you would have had to figure out how to screw all these different parts in together and then somehow get it in the ground. I felt it was a lot easier to get the non-threaded version. It was a lot less expensive. I just hammered it into these joints here, hammered it into the joints, and we've got 5-foot sections across, 10-foot sections down. Total length is 30 feet. Should last forever. I've also, so that it doesn't fall apart, of course, you need something to pull it together, and so I have a fairly heavy cable here with a turnbuckle at the end, and I just cranked the turnbuckle so it sucked it in. It's very, very sturdy. Obviously you need, if you've got something like this, you need these cross sections, and so I have these fine cables, very inexpensive. What I really liked about it was that I tried to get the lengths exact so that I could true it up, make it perfectly upright. And then I realized that if I wanted to make fine adjustments, I could just slide this along to pull it in, or loosen it to let it ease out. So very helpful, almost sort of self-adjusting. And as it wears over the years, I can continue to adjust it without replacing the cable. So it'll always be tight, it'll always be trued up, and yeah, nice to be able to adjust. Let's walk down to the other end and have a look at that. And so at the other end, we've got the cable, the turnbuckle cable. Here it is here. I cranked it down. I just used these simple brackets to clip and hold the cable at the end. It's looped around here, and then the turnbuckle, I could just turn it to get a fairly tense, a fairly strong cable, lots of tension. Down here, I literally just have it resting on the top, and then I use some wires to clip it together. There's the cross sections again. I can adjust those to suit, to make it. And down at the bottom here, I just used screws. All I did was screw into the pipes at the bottom so that it'll loop around. It's all got cabling, it doesn't rust. So yeah, really worked well. I'm happy with it. It's 3 or 4 years old now, and I'm very pleased with the end result. But not using 4x4s, not using wood, using galvanized, inexpensive galvanized piping.